Right. Let's get straight into it. Welcome to this Masterclass Explainer. Today, we're diving deep into Cambridge AS and A-Level Accounting 9706, specifically targeting the purpose and limitations of the trial balance. Now listen, I know what you're thinking. You might think you know the trial balance inside out. Debits on the left, credits on the right, and you just pray the whole thing balances at 2 a.m. before your exam, right? But here is the harsh reality. This exact topic is where some of the absolute sharpest candidates bleed easy marks. And it's not because they can't do the math, not at all. It's because they aren't thinking like the examiner. They aren't looking through the examiner's lens. Today, we're going to change that completely. We are going to deconstruct the exam, map out the exact cognitive domains you are being tested on, and build a bulletproof, high-scoring strategy. Here's our roadmap for the session. We're hitting the trial balance trap, core accounting principles, the procedural framework, evaluating the evidence, and finally, those top examiner warnings. Let's move.
Section 1. The Trial Balance Trap. Look closely at this insight from senior examiners. Most students lose easy marks on the purpose and limitations of the trial balance. Our absolute primary mission today is to make sure you are not one of them. We need to dissect exactly what the examiners are hunting for. You see, when a high tariff question pops up, one of those massive 9 to 15 mark questions, the command words are everything. If the prompt says evaluate, but you just explain, you've fallen into the trap. We have to look past just crunching the numbers and focus purely on the academic framework they use to actually grade your response.
So, why do students find evaluating evidence and drawing conclusions so incredibly difficult? Well, I see two types of students all the time. Let's call them Alex and Sam. Alex is highly technical, brilliant at memorizing formulas and facts, but completely freezes up on open-ended evaluation. Then there's Sam. Sam is a creative thinker, great at arguing a point, but struggles with structural precision and timing. Both of them find evaluating evidence hard because they treat accounting as purely mathematical or purely theoretical. But at the AS and A-level standard, just balancing the books is literally just the baseline. The real challenge, where the top marks actually live, is in interpreting what those numbers mean when things go entirely wrong or when there are severe limitations present.
Moving right along to Section 2, Core Accounting Principles. To truly conquer this exam, you have to understand the cognitive domains the examiners are grading you on. We call these assessment objectives. The exam targets 3 very distinct domains: knowledge and understanding, analysis, and evaluation. Now, a lot of students, like our highly technical friend Alex, stop at knowledge and understanding. They can confidently state exactly what a trial balance is. Great, but successful candidates have to demonstrate competence across all 3. If you aren't actively analyzing the data and evaluating the outcomes, you are literally leaving the majority of your marks on the table. You've got to hit AO1, AO2, and AO3 to get those top bands.
This brings us to a massive differentiator: analytical depth versus superficial breadth. The difference between a totally average paper and a top-tier paper comes down to this. The academic benchmark for the Cambridge syllabus requires deep, logical, structured reasoning. The assessment framework heavily prioritizes analytical depth over just writing down everything you know in a superficial, scattergun way. The examiners absolutely do not want a shallow summary of every trial balance error under the sun. They want a systematic analysis based on evidence.
That takes us to Section 3, the procedural framework. Okay, I'm going to give you the exact technical methodology to use on exam day, but actually pause for just a second. Real quick, if you want to consistently crush your Cambridge exams, make sure you hit the subscribe button for Ace the Exam's IGCSE O and L levels at the handle @acetheexam_IGCS. Turn on all notifications so you never miss a weekly strategy breakdown just like this one. Okay, back to the framework. If you want to lock in those method marks, where you get awarded points just for showing the correct process, even if your final calculation is a bit off, you need to follow this standardized 6-step sequence. Step 1, deconstruct the question. What command word is being used? Step 2, extract the relevant data from the stimulus. Step 3, select your analytical framework. Step 4, execute your analysis with crystal clear notation. Step 5, verify your results. And Step 6, present it all using the correct accounting terminology. Systematic processing guarantees maximum marks. Let's dig a bit deeper into that extraction step, because data interpretation skills are absolutely crucial here. You have to be able to extract the right information from really complex texts and tables, interpret the hidden relationships between different accounts, and then draw solid evidence-based conclusions. You know, this isn't just a clever exam trick. This practical application develops actual professional skills. Applying the correct formats and using the appropriate terminology is exactly how you properly evaluate financial performance in the real world.
All right, Section 4, Evaluating the Evidence. This is where we unlock the highest tier marks. Think of this as an interactive workshop moment. Imagine you're looking at a poorly written student answer. How do you spot the flaws? Well, to hit the highest descriptive, analytical, and evaluative levels, your evidence evaluation needs to hit 4 specific targets. First, you must identify the limitations of the trial balance itself. Second, you have to clearly outline any assumptions that were made in the data. Third, you need to provide alternative interpretations. Ask yourself, what else could this discrepancy possibly mean? And finally, you absolutely must explain the effect all of this has on the final conclusions. If your paragraph is missing even one of these 4 elements, your evaluation is technically incomplete. Very often, evaluating evidence requires you to build a robust comparative analysis. To execute this like a pro, you must identify both similarities and differences. Just listing similarities won't cut it. You execute this by actively using comparative connectives in your writing, things like whereas, conversely, or on the other hand. Next, you have to support every single comparison with hard evidence from the text. And finally, you draw conclusions about their relative importance. Evaluating alternatives and comparing approaches with a justified recommendation, that is exactly what the higher order assessment objectives demand from you. Which brings us to our final and perhaps most important section, top examiner warnings. We've come through the principal examiner reports, and there are exactly 3 fatal mistakes that consistently trap students year after year.
Let's break these down so you never, ever make them. Number 1, examiners report that students constantly confuse cause and effect when discussing the trial balance. You have to know precisely what caused an error versus what the effect of that error actually is on the accounts. Don't mix them up. Number 2, students just flat out forget to check their format and presentation. Remember that procedural framework we talked about? Formatting is a professional skill, and yes, you are graded on it. And number 3, providing generic answers that are not specific to the context. I am putting a massive, glowing highlight on that last point. Consider this an official examiner alert. The absolute classic trap is writing down a generic textbook answer. A technically perfect textbook definition is worth 0 marks if it isn't specifically contextualized to the problem sitting right in front of you. Always, always link every single point you make directly back to the given scenario. Now, to help you retain all of this when the exam timer starts ticking, here is a highly recommended memory hack. Create your own mnemonic using the first letters of the key terms we've discussed today. Take our 6-step procedural framework, or those 4 elements of evaluating evidence, and build a catchy word or phrase. Locking this structural approach into your memory means you can deploy it instantly under pressure without wasting mental energy. I want to leave you with a provocative thought before you tackle your next practice paper. Are your trial balance conclusions truly evidence-based, flawlessly linked to the scenario, or are they just generic textbook guesses? I challenge you to apply this rigorous 3-step question scan and the paragraph balance formula we just built. And hey, crushing Cambridge exams requires a consistent strategy. So right now, hit that subscribe button for Ace the Exams IGCSE O and A levels at acetheexam_IGCSE. Turn on the notification bell for future exam hacks, and drop a comment below with your exact target grade. Go dominate those past papers, and I will see you in the next one.